Hi, Facebook friends. Dr. Philbrick here at Results Medical Aesthetics, along with nurse injector Renee Housen and our lovely client here. Today we're going to do lips. So our client is a mature female who about a week ago did some Bellafill in her mid-face. And now it's time to work on those perioral lines, or what we call smoker's lines or straw lines. Not that she's a smoker, they just happen with age. So a lot of those pesky little lines that cause your lipstick to bleed up into the upper lip area, we're going to take care of those today. And then we're going to use the rest of her Bellafill to work down lower face for a little bit of lower face correction. So Renee's going to get started here. We've pre-treated with a little bit of numbing medicine, and she's going to do a technique that's very advanced and a little bit difficult. So what she's going to do, instead of normally when we do lips, a lot of times a lot of people will just line the, what we call the vermilion border, the red border of the lip, and that does stretch out and that gets rid of lines. Sometimes people have deeper, more etched lines in this area, and that requires a different technique, almost a method where you go in and sort of release the tethering underneath and put just a small amount of the medicine. So we're using two kinds of fillers today. There's several fillers on the market, but they fall into about two main categories. One are pure dermal stimulants. They go in and they stimulate the body to produce collagen and elastin, the things that decline with age, and one of the reasons why you see fine lines and deep wrinkles. The others are fillers or sort of volumizers, and those tend to be hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acids are very soft usually, and they don't last very long. The dermal stimulants actually create new regrowth and don't need to be repeated as often, sometimes as little as every 10 years. So for instance, our patient today has Bellafill, which in the US we can say 5 years, in Europe we say 10 years. The only reason is in the US we can only speak to the end of clinical trials. The FDA only allows that. In Europe they're allowed to use post-consumer data where they can come to people at the end of the trial 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years later, and patients are still satisfied and still have great results. So we know that Bellafill is a very long-lasting dermal stimulant. So we're going to use that in the lower face. We used it in the mid-face. Bellafill is not something that we want to use around a mucous membrane, and that's around the mouth. So we are using a softer filler. This is something that will last about 18 months. So right now Renee is finding the areas of interest, and she's going in and actually filling them with just a small amount. This is one of those procedures that really is injector dependent. So if you're going to get this procedure done, you want to make sure that the person you're doing has 4 or 5 years of experience and they inject all day, every day, like Renee. Otherwise, it might not come out so well because it's a difficult one. So if you do this wrong, you end up looking like a monkey because you get too much volume in that upper lip, and that is not attractive for anybody. So while there's a tiny bit of swelling, the product we're using today is Volbella, and we want to thank our friends at Allergan for supplying that for us today. It's probably my favorite for this particular area because it's very soft and it's very forgiving. It will blend into those lines and it won't leave a lot of stiffness. So when her swelling is gone, her upper lip is going to look very natural and very smooth. The other thing that this procedure does is it creates a little bit of damage, and that damage causes the body to heal. And when it heals, it creates collagen and elastin, so you get a much smoother, softer surface, and you get a lot more glow. I was hoping that we had some before pictures, but we don't. But if you ever see anybody who's had Bellafill, even 1 to 2 3 weeks later, you'll see the area that was treated, the skin texture is significantly improved. Because of that collagen and elastin, the skin becomes like youthful skin. So the fine lines and the dullness goes away. It's really beneficial. So those things we call dermal stimulants. And when Renee finishes, I'm going to switch sides. When Renee finishes with the upper lip, she is going to go work on the lower face. Boy, that's looking good already.
I need to massage the steps.
Yeah, I know, it's nice. Well, I think you're the one that told me that sometimes massaging it you think is not beneficial. It makes, not a good idea. So what Renee's doing now is she is tracing a little bit on that vermilion border. which is nice. It helps define the lip. So one of the reasons we use lip liner, right, is to get a nice defined vermilion border or red border. And she's going in there and doing a little of that, as well as adding, untethering and filling some of the deeper lines. So you're going to see a fair amount of swelling with this. Lips swell like no other. So probably once these procedures done, we're going to have her just rest for a while, maybe use a little bit of ice. Tonight she might want to take some ibuprofen, as long as she's not allergic. You're not allergic to ibuprofen. You don't have to talk, so you got a needle in your mouth. But a little anti-inflammatory sometimes helps. Once in a while I have people that have so much swelling they actually have to use something else, but it's pretty rare with this product. It's not very hydrophilic, and what hydrophilic means is it attracts water. Some of the other products on the market attract a lot of water to themselves, and so you see a huge amount of swelling. That can be to your advantage, but around the lips, especially when you're doing lip lines, it's definitely not to your advantage. You want something that has a very low affinity to water, and that would be Jupiter Bella. And definitely not Restylane. Restylane would have blown her up like big ants by now. It would be all over. And sometimes, some of the other products can have swelling that lasts for weeks. So, all right, it's looking really, really beautiful. So what we all want is a nice, soft, defined upper lip with a good Cupid's bow, you know, some nice filtral columns. These are the areas that kind of stand up that help create that lip architecture. So what Renee is doing now is working to preserve her lip architecture and maybe enhance it just a little bit as well. Looks really beautiful. Yes, that's lovely. So when you stay to the end of the film, we'll give you a code, won't we? I guess. We're offering $50 off a syringe. Now, through the end of the month, if you mention that you saw this on Facebook Live, you get an extra bonus gift, and that is you get to pick out a lip product of your choice from Jane Iredale. We have tons. So when you come in and get your lips done, mention that you saw this on Facebook Live and get your extra bonus gift. You get to pick out something when you're done too, which is always fun.
Tracy's on with us. Can you say hello?
Oh, hey Tracy, how are you? Glad you could join us. I know that last night was kind of a mess with the power outage. Oh, that's going to be so pretty. Nice and soft.
And how long does this filler last?
It lasts 18 months. Well, 12 to 18 months. Yeah. 12, but so now Renee's going to go with our second product, which is Bellafill. Bellafill is not as much a filler as a dermal stimulant. However, Bellafill is unique in that it does contain some bovine collagen, and so it's not suitable for vegans, but for the rest of us, it's fine. We have a product that can be used for vegans, so that's also a dermal stimulant. So you can see she's analyzing her face. And the area that we're looking at treating is down in here where there's some deficits. So can you purse your lips like I do? See where you see this fall in? Those are lines where there's deficits in there. That's how I always find them.
So Kristen is asking, what if you are prone to fever blisters?
Oh, that's a really good question. Thanks for asking that. If you're prone to fever blisters, then we ask before, and then I will pre-treat you with Valtrex or something. It's actually very important, and one of the advantages of actually working with a physician or someone with prescribing abilities. So one of the things we do when a client first comes in is we go over their med list with them and their past medical history, because this is a procedure and this is medicine. And then every other visit we check to make sure there have been no changes. So one of the things we do ask about is herpetic lesions, cold sores, that sort of thing. So great question.
Tracy's saying she's very interested in the product. So how much is it again, and how can they?
It is, Volbella comes in a smaller syringe, and it is $400, but $50 off, so $350, which is a really good price. And then we do two other things for lips. We do, some people want really, really fuller, bigger lips, or some correction, maybe their lips are uneven. We would use a different Juvederm product. That runs $650 normally, $600 on sale. And then for people who want porn star lips or really outrageous Kylie Jenner lips before she had them reversed, we have another product called Juvederm Voluma, and that runs $9.75 a syringe, and it's on sale for $8.75. Yeah, the phone number if you're interested in coming in for a complimentary consultation, or if you just want to book your appointment, is 918-994-9170, or you can find us online at resultsmed.com, and you can book online. So, I'm dying to do some porn star lips if somebody some more, I should say. Yeah. Do you want? No. Yeah, let's give it a little time. I know.
Switch again.
Yeah, we can really throw some big old lips in there, let me tell you. And some people look great with, really exaggerated lips. In my opinion, it tends to be a young girl's game, but yeah. So this product that Renee is putting in is probably my very favorite, partly because it lasts, but also because it is just beautiful. It's like butter. It just goes in, recreates collagen. It gives a little bit of boost right away with the bovine collagen, so you get an immediate result, but then you get lasting results. And there's rarely bruising. It doesn't draw a lot of water to it, like we mentioned before. It's my favorite. Hands down, it's my favorite to work with too. How about you, Renee?
I love it.
I know. I mean, I love all the Juvederm products, don't get me wrong, but Bellafill is just, for anybody over 40, if they don't have Bellafill or Sculptra in their face, they're really missing out. This is what's going to save all of us from having facelifts. Oh, that's looking beautiful. As you guys can see, this is something you can easily do over lunchtime, or, well, if you don't mind going back to work, poke holes in you, but over lunchtime or after work on the way home. We have Saturday appointments too, and evening appointments for people that want to do it and then go home, but it's not at all uncommon for people to do this and then go back to work. It's lovely. Okay, so we're in. And that's it. So if you want to check back later, we'll have some photos online that show the after, once we've had some time for swelling to reduce, and you'll see the actual result. As you can see, the lips were beautiful. Would you say there's maybe 10% swelling?
If that.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was better with time, for sure.
Mm-hmm. It definitely does.
It smooths out.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of like, putting butter on something warm. It just sort of melts and it just fills in all those areas that you would like to have filled in. If I could afford it, I would do my entire thighs with it. Anyway, 918-994-9170 is the number to call us. 918-994-9170.